Hi, my name is Olivia Stevenson, and for my oral presentation, I chose to present the topic, the impact of culture on emergency management planning and response. Cultural competency was a term coined by the National Standards for Culturally and Linguistically Appropriative Services in Health and Healthcare. It is defined as the ability of individuals and systems to respond respectively and effectively to people of all cultures, classes, races, ethnic backgrounds. There are 5 elements of cultural competency. Number 1. Awareness and acceptance of difference. In an emergency management situation, usually the responder and victim will not have the same cultural background or ethnicity, and this will lead to different wants and needs of the victim. Number 2. Awareness of one's own cultural values. In these situations, people have to self-assess themselves to become aware of what values and opinions they hold. This will pertain to Number 3. Understanding and managing the dynamics of difference. Emergency management responders have a systematic way to retrieve information from the victim. They use the respond tool. R means to build a rapport, which means to make a relationship between both the victim. Number 4. Development of cultural knowledge. Basically, the responder has to understand that there are differences between certain cultures and what they want for treatments based on their beliefs and customs, etc. Number 5. Ability to adapt activities to fit different cultural contexts. By adapting regular practices to fit the needs of different communities based on their customs, it makes the process easier and people cooperate more with each other. In this presentation, I inserted some examples of how culture impacts emergency management planning and response. Example 1 is about the Javanese inhabitants. The Javanese inhabitants live in Indonesia along the Merapi volcano, and they believe in the spiritual powers that the volcano brings them. In 2006, when an eruption occurred, they refused to evacuate until their spiritual leader gave them instructions. Example 2 is about the Moken community of Thailand. 2004, when a tsunami was about to hit, they were already prepared because they used signs given to them. They watched the unusual behaviors among the animals in the ocean, which is a traditional practice. The Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, otherwise known as SFDR, was created after the Third UN World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction. This was created to target communities that struggle during times of disaster that can't help themselves, and to make it easier for them to receive help and stay. Example 3 is people with disabilities, the deaf community being one of them. Some responders might receive some special training that deal with potential situations where deaf people might be victims. More training allows for better communication and response, and it creates a more Other examples for people with disabilities might include better housing designs and evacuation plans for those with limited mobility, better accessibility to shelter areas, or specific areas dedicated to people with disabilities, including deaf people, blind people, etc. That is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching.